Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of ICC Interesting Conversation Corner. Today we have on Dylan Blaha, Illinois National Guard Army Captain, correct?
Yep.
And graduate from University of Illinois, correct?
Yep.
Running in District 13, the sort of central long district in Illinois. Welcome, lovely to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, let's get right into the questions. Interesting first one. What modern political figure currently inspires you the most?
I would say probably Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib if I was to pick, two right now. I think that they're the two that are really kind of leading the charge and helping to, speak out against what the Republicans are doing, but also fight for, um, just a better future for all Americans.
Yeah, I would agree with those. I would also put up Gustavo Petro from
Hmm.
Colombia. I saw what he did at the UN conference and stuff like that. There, let me put it this way: if you that quickly get your visa revoked, you probably did something right when it's under the Trump
Yeah,
regime.
that's true. Yeah.
What historical political figure inspires your politics the most?
Hmm. A tough one. I would say, at least from what I've read about people like Abraham Lincoln, I guess, even dating back to then, and a lot of the leaders of the pro-peace side of
Mm,
the anti-slavery side of kind of that movement. People like Frederick Douglass as well. So yeah, no, I think those would really be it. I mean, I think right now one of the things that I constantly feel is that we keep going down this fascist death spiral, and not a lot of people are willing to think that we can fight back and we can institute real lasting change in America. I think people just assume things are going to be the same as they always are, and a lot of people just want to go back to how things were in 2010, but that wasn't working for a lot of people then either.
mm. Yeah, my two answers would probably be Mutsa or Porphyry. Can you tell I like philosophy?
Oh wow, no, that's good. Yeah.
Like we're having to go back a couple thousand years. That's a history nerd right there. If there's one thing you could change about getting on the ballot in Illinois, what would it be? I know there's
Um,
multiple things we both know from experience.
yeah, I think the biggest thing would be allowing other parties to have an easier time to run. Because I do know that anyone, I needed 957 in my district. If I wanted to run as an independent, it would be, or a non-established party, it would be almost 16,000. Just good signatures. So, yeah, as a Green Party member would know, you need a lot of signatures. So I think that's one, and then it would obviously be great if there was some way to automate the process or make it less easy for people to just get kicked off. Because I think right now, the way that the system is, I mean, it's great that it forces people to go out, knock on doors, and get signatures. Like that is good. But we have this system in Illinois where the people with more money, the establishment candidates, can afford lawyers to try and kick other people off the ballot. And it really makes it so a lot of grassroots candidates can't really run for office.
Yeah, at this point, I have to say, that's someone in organizing a lot of spaces, both Democrat and Green. It's basically a given in Illinois that you should get at least double the expected because you should assume, especially if you're challenging an incumbent, that they're going to try and take off at least half. So
Yep,
that's
and we definitely turned in more than double, which is good. So
congrats. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Since you've been on the ground speaking to so many constituents, can you tell us the effects of, in my opinion at least, the decrease of journalistic quality in mainstream media as a whole?
yeah, I think it gets us to the point where a lot of people don't trust, especially young people. A lot of people don't trust corporate mainstream media, even what's on CNN. I think especially because we've watched a genocide live stream to our phones with what Israel is doing in Gaza, and then we see what not only Fox News but also what CNN is reporting about it, or what the New York Times is reporting about it, and so. It just makes it to where, yeah, nobody really trusts mainstream news anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. It's
Hmm.
sad to see it happening. Why is following international law and enforcing it advantageous for American foreign policy?
I think it's important as the richest nation in the world to try and help enforce order and peace, and not militarily. I am against American military imperialism and colonialism. I think that the idea that we would be able to keep a watchful eye and be Team America World Police over the rest of the world is really unrealistic, and it was only a matter of time before it didn't work. But I think that we should be a leader in peace and diplomacy and in making sure that we hold countries to a higher standard. And there are so many things that we can do, economic sanctions, to really try and hold countries accountable for human rights violations, apartheid, genocide, things like that.
Mm. Yeah, I can't remember the exact profession, but there was some international worker that had been to who I talked to, as well as a couple other friends of mine that had been to Nicaragua and stuff like that. And they talked
Mhm.
about the difference like pre and post Trump, how there was a lot of respect because of the integrity and the actual genuine work they did. So like if a worker came in, like international aid worker from the US to a village, they would all get excited beforehand. And now literally they're all gone. So
No, exactly.
favorite song you've used as background music for your Instagram posts?
Um, I would say the one that I play now and again is probably Fortunate Son because it sounds like a patriotic song, but it's actually a protest song, you know.
Mm,
I think those are the ones that yeah, I prefer. But I mean, there's been some good new ones, especially that have been kind of like more focused on, trying to get people to care about what's going on in Palestine too. So.
yeah, yeah. My answer is not very interesting. That's probably the more women background music I used for that one.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, that's fair. I've used some of like the Superman soundtrack too, you know. I
Mm,
mean, I feel like I really liked how that movie kind of highlighted these fictional countries that, one was actively committing a genocide and Superman took a stand. So, yeah. I know
yeah,
some people
yeah.
were upset about it, but
No, that's the real art. We love to see politics in their art. No,
hmm.
art's non-political. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Favorite personal story from the campaign trail thus far?
Hmm. Uh, gosh, there's so many. I think right now I'm just thinking of I did make the decision to wear Captain America outfit to No King's Day. And I think part of it was just like, all right, well, if Captain America was real, what would he be doing right now, you know? And two, I wanted people to think of like, you know, yeah, it is it is not okay what is going on, and yeah, that Captain America would be fighting against Donald Trump. But it's cute because since then I've met a lot of little kids who actually think that I'm Captain America. So yeah, I know. So like their parents will just say, "Oh yeah, he's working right now, so he can't, wear his uniform." But
Oh, that has to be the most wholesome campaign story I've heard from everybody thus far. That warmed my heart.
yeah, no, I mean honestly, like the because I make a lot of reels and stuff on Instagram and TikTok, and obviously my volunteers watch them, and so sometimes kids will go, "Oh my God, Dylan's gonna be here in person," and I think like it always just makes them shocked that I'm a real human being. So yeah.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Oh goodness, that's an action that most people in Congress can't relate to. How do we reverse the decrease in trust of our police and military due to Trump's abuses of power?
It's tough. I mean, it's hard to see. I know I was at drill at the end of October, not that I got paid for it, but on the way to and from Fort McCoy, like we went in military vehicles and there were people recording us. I got a lot of dirty looks when we pulled over at a gas station. And I get it because ICE is walking around and doing what they're doing, these horrible things um, without being looking any different from how we are. And so I do think with policing, I really back a lot of what Zoran's saying. Like we need to get to a point where, people feel like police are helping to keep us safe, But they're also members of the community. We need them to be more involved in our community functions, and things like that. I mean, because ultimately, like communities should be able to hold police accountable for their actions, and with that too, there's that added. Some towns and cities in our district have already done it to where they've started to utilize social workers more, especially for specific cases that they know it's mental health related, or if it's anyone under, I think, excuse me, under the age of 22. So, like these are things that I think that way they'll help police officers do the jobs that they signed up to do. And with the military, it's hard. I mean, I hope like for the National Guard specifically, I hope people realize that these are members of their community, but ultimately it's going to depend on the actions in the future. I mean, we need less of what we saw in Washington, D.C. of National Guard soldiers chasing trick-or-treaters and more of just feeling like, they're helping to keep us safe. So, I say when I was young, I thought the National Guard just did things like respond to hurricanes and tornadoes and river floods. But, I mean, we have trained to backfill active duty ever since the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Not that that's necessarily what I think we should be doing, but I mean, I do think for both of them, you build trust in the community by being part of that community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, any organizer, any mutual aid project will tell you that.
Mhm.
And we've blown through these questions. So I'm going to divide this into a two-parter, actually. All right. Make an argument for why other people should play Halo Reach to get some inspiration.
Because it's the best Halo game of all time. Although you have to make sure that when you're playing them all, you play it first, right? Because I mean,
Mm,
otherwise the story is just not chronological. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to, that one ends kind of sad, right? I mean, but it was the start of a movement, and
mm.
I think it's important for people to look for things like friendship and teamwork in these times, and to know that anyone could be the spark that eventually starts the fire.
Yeah, yeah. No, especially with Reach, the beautiful storytelling. This is a thing that I like to
Hmm.
hyper focus on, but what separates it a little bit more from the earlier Halos is that the Covenant's always portrayed as trying to destroy all of humanity, but in Reach,
Yeah.
they specifically show them glassing the planet and destroying the land. And as someone who's delved into historical cases of genocide, that's a common, like,
Hmm.
ding, 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 red flag alert. And so I remember when I was playing that game, I kind of felt that and put that layer onto it. So I ended
Hmm.
up being really powerful. And
No,
last
exactly.
question that I'm asking all my guests, because former game industry person would like to get back into it whenever politics chill down for me. What's your favorite video game and why?
Oof. I do feel like even after all these years, and all that Bethesda's done to their workers, I still have to say that I think Skyrim is always going to be my favorite just because it's one of those that you can role play as different characters. There's so many different hours of playtime. I mean, I'm an RPG guy anyway, so things like Fallout. I've never played. I've always wanted to, but it was broken when I first bought it. Cyberpunk 2077. So,
Mm.
but yeah, one of these days I'm gonna sit down and play more. But I mean, I still like things like Spider-Man, Uncharted. I play some of those things too. But yeah, the RPGs like Skyrim are the way to go.
Yeah, yeah. As the residential DM, that's totally my game genre. I mean, oh gosh, I would say I have at least five Elder Scrolls games in like my top 50. It's one of my favorite series. I think my favorite right now of all time is actually Daggerfall.
Oh wow. I've never played
Yeah.
Morrowind either, so those are
Yeah,
ones I
well,
want to play more.
Morrowind's in my top five, but you have to have more patience with those games for sure.
Mm.
They're a lot more old school RPG unforgiving, shall we
Hmm.
say.
No, exactly.
Well, lovely having you on, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Good luck in your race and take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.